Hails and cheers. I'm W. Frickenstein, and I'm gonna take you back to the demo days. The past has awakened. Alright, going all the way back to the year 1996. And Mortem was rehearsing in Tinley Park. And right up the street from where we rehearsed, there was not one but two really good record stores. One was called Record Swap. It was on 159th and Harlem Avenue. Really good used metal section. You know, they sold new stuff, and they also like bought old, used stuff from people and then resold it. So they always had a really good used metal section. But right up the street from there, also on 159th, if you went a little bit west, there was the store Threshold Music, and they had a great used section. They had a great import metal section, and just an overall great metal section. So usually after band practice, we'd head right up the street to Threshold. Usually went and got a burrito at the burrito joint next door, and then you headed over to Threshold and Record Swap just to see what they had. And I got some gems out of both of those places. But Threshold had a local metal section right up by the register. So when you went to go pay for whatever, you'd look down and there's all these local bands on this rack. They're cassettes. There might have been some CDs at that point. But yeah, and I remember looking down and seeing this cover staring back at me. This band EMBER. Never heard of them. Pretty trippy cover on the cassette. The name of the demo was Within the Realm of the Snow Queen. And it just, struck my interest here. Looked kind of black metal-y. So that's kind of what I was expecting, and it did not disappoint. It's very much black metal meets hardcore punk is probably the best way I could think to describe it. It's unique. But yeah, went out in the parking lot, threw it in the cassette deck in the car, and proceeded to get my ears blown out. It's very loud, very aggressive, very fast. Not all of it, but it has a good mix. So here's the cassette. Nothing on the inside. Pro duplicated. Pro printed on the cassette. Program repeats on both sides. Track 1, Dance of the Ancients. Track 2, Forever Beautiful. Track 3, The Serpent Fallen. Alright, so this demo came out in 1995, and I picked it up in 96. Cool stuff, very cool. Added it to my demo collection of local bands, and that was kind of it. Never heard anything else from them or about them for about a year. And I remember being back in Threshold, same thing, checking the rack there with the local bands, and lo and behold, a new EMBER cassette. I said, no way, a new one? Chapter 2, The Gate. Once again, pro duplicated, pro printed. Goes out a little further this time, also blank on the inside. Opens up a little bit more there. So So I grabbed this one, went out in the car, excited because I liked their first demo, threw it in the cassette deck, cranked it up. Man, even better than the first demo in my opinion. Chapter 2, The Gate. Once again, Pro duplicated on the cassette too. Program repeats on both sides. This one has 3 tracks also. Track 1, Into Death. Track 2, These Darkened Wings. Track 3, Divinity. So at this point, they had 2 demos out. These guys are local. I knew nothing else about them. I never saw them play live, nothing. And then one day I got a flyer from my buddy Bryce that said that his band Corpse Vomit was playing with Ember. I said, no fucking way. I got both of their demos. Those guys are cool. That's awesome because, Corpse Vomit was great to go see them and Ember together up at Smiler Coogan's. Hell yeah. So, man, I was ready for that shit. Went up there. Great show. Kicked my ass. And then afterwards, Bryce from Corpse Vomit went and had an after party at his apartment and invited a bunch of us back over. And from the band Ember, Alan came and hung out with us. And I remember me and Bryce and Alan and Pat from Corpse Vomit hanging out in the kitchen all night, just bullshitting, like about the same types of bands and just a lot of similar interests. And just, one of those conversations that just like the hours fly by. Next thing you know, the sun's coming up. And Alan bid adieu. And he left, and we were like, man, that dude was cool. We got to keep him in the circle and keep in touch. And we always have. And all these years later, look who's playing in the Everscathed, Alan. And when I think back about that, now that I'm telling the story, this was when Immortum was out, way before it turned into the Everscathed. And at that time, in that kitchen, I was hanging out with both future guitar players of the Everscathed, Bryce Dalzell and Alan Mate, who both went on to be in the Everscathed. So, wow. Anywho, we started hanging out a lot with Alan and stuff, and got to meet, and know the other guys in Ember. And the next year in 1998, they got onto Milwaukee Metal Fest. They were going to be playing up in Milwaukee at the Milwaukee Metal Fest 1998. And so we were like, yeah, hell yeah. I had never been there yet. So it was my first Metal Fest, and I was all stoked. We, printed up a bunch of Immortum cassettes and went there and handed them out and had a blast. And we bought our tickets from Ember. And I remember being up there, and the plan was Ember rented a couple hotel rooms. We were gonna go meet them at their hotel and party there after the show, and then crash there for day 2, come back, to the Eagles ballroom up there, and come back for day 2 and fucking do it all over again for day 2 of Metal Fest. And this is back in the day before cell phones, and it's all paper maps, and you got the address to the hotel, but we were lost. We could not find where we were supposed to go. Had no way to get a hold of anybody in Ember. So we're just kind of cruising the streets in big circles, and next thing you know, I hear some friends of ours yelling at me, "Hey, Bill, hey!" Roll the window down, and it was John Contreras, our buddy that, we were buddies back then, and he's the drummer in the Everscathed. So see how far this shit all goes back, man, and links up. But yeah, it was John and Matt from Corpse Vomit and a bunch of other guys, and they were like, "Hey man, just come stay with us. You know, we're right here. We're right here in this room. Just pull right in, man." So fuck yeah, you know, it was great. We couldn't find Ember. We wound up partying with them all night and had a great time, and like way too great of a time because the next day we went back and on 1 hour sleep, we got about 1 hour sleep that night. Went back and I couldn't find my ticket. Everyone else had their tickets. I could not find my ticket. How am I going to get back in? So we went to the main gate and they were like, "You don't have a ticket, you can't come in." I'm like, "Oh, son of a bitch." So I tried going around the side. I knew there was another entrance, kind of like the band entrance on the side. And I went over there and I tried to get in. And the guy stopped me and I explained the situation. He's like, "Sorry, man, without a ticket, I can't let you in." Now, as I'm there talking to the security guard, I happen to see Alan and Pete from Ember, you know, walking in the back. I'm like, "Hey, those are the guys. Those are the guys I bought my ticket from." I'm trying to yell to them so they can come vouch for me. They're a band that's performing there that day. And the guy, they couldn't hear me. It's so noisy. They're just walking past. So the guy eventually just said, "Just fucking go," and just let me in. And I ran up. I was like, "Guys, you don't understand what just happened. Almost didn't get in." But yeah, so crazy story. Getting all these memories as I'm, you know, they're coming up out of nowhere as I'm talking. But as always, the demo days are brought to you by Old Style, my very best drink. So fast forward to 1999, Ember releases Concession. Now, Concession is an anthology of all of Ember's recordings. It includes Chapter 1, Within the Realm of the Snow Queen. It includes Chapter 2, The Gate. It also has on here Chapter 3, brand new recording from 1998, with 5 tracks. Track 1, A Grave Misinterpretation of Life. Track 2, 4.5. Track 3, I Don't Know, and it's a naked ray gun cover. Track 4, title track of the full anthology, Concession. And track 5, The Shedding. Also included in this anthology is Episode 1, which was an older recording that had a Misfits cover, Earth AD. And a song called Of Mist. Here's the full layout. And the CD. I could be wrong, but I believe that's Chris, who was the drummer at the end of the band. That's Alan's brother, Chris. And Mortem did eventually get to play with Ember once before they called it quits. We played together at Off the Alley. I can't remember what town that was in. Homewood? I believe it was in Homewood. And that's where the original record swap was. The store I mentioned earlier that was on the corner of 159th and Harlem. That was their second location. Their original location was out there in Homewood. And even bigger used metal section and just a lot more in there because it was an older store. So I was only in there a couple of times, but right around the corner from that, in the same little section of block, was a club called Off the Alley. You went in through the alley, and that's how you got in. They had a little stage, a little bar. From what I remember, they were a juice bar. They only sold pop and water and stuff like that. But there was a bar directly next door that you could just walk through the alley and go into. So it all worked out. But yeah, we played there once with Ember. I remember I breathed fire on stage, almost caught Pete's hair on fire. Pete from Ember. Yeah, good times, good times. Well, that's all I really got about Ember. I mean, I'm telling you from what my experience was with them. Like I said, Alan became a friend back then through Ember, and been a friend this whole time. We played in Ensemble together. We play in the Everscathed together, and still see Pete from time to time. Pete, the singer from Ember. Just hung out with them probably about a month or so ago. We went and saw some cover bands together, a Rat cover band and Skid Row tribute. So, yeah. So here's Ember in all their glory. Look them up if you like black metal and hardcore punk and just metal and just a great old school Chicago area band. Don't forget to check the links down below. Until next time, hails and cheers.